There, but for the grace of God, go I. Um, if you really look at that statement and think about it, it's pretty amazing the things that God has done in my life, or my higher power has done in my life to spare me a lot of pain and heartache. Um, you hear stories about somebody driving the wrong way on the interstate, drunk and killing an entire family, and not only does that person have to live with that, go to prison, but that family that you just destroyed, you know, um, there, but for the grace of God, I could have been involved in thousands of wrecks. I should have had hundreds of DUIs, and then for whatever reason, I never had one. Um, should have lost hundreds of jobs. I never lost one. Um, should have went to jail numerous times, and we're not talking about petty shit. But there, but for the grace of God, um, and it's heartbreaking to watch people in active addiction destroying lives. But the bottom line is no matter what, I can't walk up to you when you're active in your addiction and say, "Hey, I've got a solution," and you're just going to listen. You have to be ready for it. You have to be willing to do the things that I had to do to stay clean and sober. Um, there's a lot of great information out these days, things that weren't around when I got sober. Um, I listen to podcasts all the time. I listen to Sober Speak is a podcast that I recommend to anybody, especially if you can't get to meetings. And if you do go to soberspeak.com and you check out their podcast, look for the Brenda J podcast. She is an amazing speaker. Um, but I do that daily. I listen to, sobriety stories or recovery stories. And, that's kind of what spurred me on to get to the point where I'm going to start doing podcasts. I'm still working on that. Um, the sarcasticandsober.com website is up, but there's really nothing there yet. I haven't been able to add content to it yet. Um, but yeah, I mean, in my life, my higher power has spared me so much stuff. And that's really, if you want to get down to it, that's the definition of grace and mercy. There, but for the grace of God, go I. There's the definition of grace and mercy is in there. If you really look at your life, you know, grace from my higher power is me getting the things I don't deserve in this life. The happiness that I have, the amazing wife that I have, the amazing kids and family that I have, the friends that are just incredible. Um, those are all gifts of grace from my higher power. Mercy is my higher power not letting me get the things that I do deserve. The trouble that I, could have been in, the things that I should have received for my behaviors, my alcoholism, my addiction. Um, that's the definition of grace and mercy is, grace is the things that you don't deserve, and mercy is the things that you do deserve that don't happen to you. Um, if you're out there and you're struggling, or if you're out there and you're questioning and you don't want to go to a meeting, because I mean, I know a lot of people that the biggest thing is walking into a meeting blind, not knowing anybody, not knowing what's going to happen. That's hard. You know, these days I can walk into a meeting anywhere in this country and I'm comfortable. Those are my people. I don't have to know anybody, although I've always been that way. I have a bit of a gypsy soul, some wandering feet. Uh, but for a lot of people, so if you're out there and you're questioning and you're wondering, is there a way, what can I do, those podcasts are great information. There's tons of groups on Facebook about recovery, um and you can remain anonymous in those and just sit back and watch and listen. That's the great thing about the podcast, is nobody knows that you're listening to it unless you tell them. And I think last I looked on Sober Speak, um John had like 200 episodes or something like that, or pretty close to 200 episodes. Some of them being live events that he's hosted that are just amazing. And you can get so much out of that. It's like going to a meeting. you sit and you listen to somebody's tale of experience, strength, and hope. So, um, there, but for the grace of God, just remember that your higher power may be protecting you from things that you don't even realize are out there or that could happen at this point in your addiction. I know that back in the day when I was active, I didn't worry about jail time. I didn't worry about consequences. Now I can reflect on those years of abusing myself where I should have um, had a lot of consequences for my action, and for whatever reason, my higher power spared me that. And I know that's not everybody's story. I know a lot of people that have had things, and believe me, I lived through a world of shit. I'm not trying to make it sound like my life was easy and I was coasting through addiction. Um, it's just my hell was different than your hell, you know. So I tell people all the time I'm spiritual, not religious, because religion is for people afraid to go to hell. Spirituality is for those of us that have already walked through it and come out on the other side. Um, hopefully, you guys are getting something from these messages. You know, feel free to drop me a line, sarcastic and sober at gmail.com, through Facebook Messenger. If you have my phone number, you can text me. Uh, I hope you guys have a great day. Love you. Bye.